Welcome to NocBro Nation.
Welcome back, guys. Drill here.
And I'm Josh, and today we're here to talk Fear the Walking Dead. Sherry, is she the next antagonist?
Yeah, guys, so I thought about this a while back, and then somebody said in the comments about this. So, full disclosure, warning, spoiler warning, this will contain some comic book storyline material for Sherry. Her character in the comics and the show is vastly different. So we just want to put that warning out there for you guys that are just reading the comics. So.
Yeah, and this is no way spoiler for the show because this is a theory. This is a theory.
Yes. So could they make a plot twist for Sherry? We know Sherry is coming into Fear the Walking Dead. She left Negan before All Out War. Dwight then crossed over to Fear, searching for her.
At Daryl's advice.
At Daryl's advice. He was exiled. In Season 5 of Fear, we heard of a voice that sounded, it could have been Sherry, that Dwight was on the radio with. At that point in time, we thought maybe he was hallucinating. And then, of course, AMC loves to spoil us by showing us a picture that, yes, Sherry is returning. It would have been nice for us to see her in the episode instead of spoiling it, but hey, whatever.
What happens with the shock value now?
Nothing. Somebody would have spoiled it anyway.
I get it, but that's what makes a show a show.
Right.
You have some type of shock value.
Yeah, and we saw her in the trailer, so they already
Not that it would have been much anyway, because it is Sherry, and eventually Dwight was going to find her, but still.
Yeah.
Let's talk about in the comics, right?
Yeah.
We know that Sherry lives... is always at Negan's side, but there's a couple other things that happen in the comics compared to that of the television series. Now, one of those main things is during the Whisper War, Sherry provided Negan a plan.
Right? So during the Whisper War, Sherry provided Negan a plan that when Rick is done dealing with the Whisperers, they were gonna wait till things calm down and they were gonna take over. They were gonna
everything.
They were gonna take. They were gonna take out Alexandria and take over.
Yeah. After the Whisper War.
Right.
So she's basically telling Rick, "I remember this. It took a while, but
it was early on."
Yeah, guys, it's been so long since I've read them, but she actually her stance was, let's let them get tired out from the onslaught of the Whisper War and dwindle down, and then we'll just go in and wipe out the rest.
And Negan loved that. Yeah, he called out Dwight on that. He's like, look, your chick's an optimist. Like, she can get things done.
That's cold-hearted as shit, man.
Yeah, and this was, before Negan was, captured and everything. So Sherry had this mindset, and she was I wouldn't say she was brutal in the comics, but her character was a little more involved than it was in the show.
Yeah.
Her one in the show was a little side. It was more for Dwight and Negan, not really for Sherry.
Yeah. And it's not that Sherry is weak in the television show, but she was a lot stronger in the comic book series. She was brutal. I mean, that's like the best way to put it. I don't think she ever wanted to come back to Dwight.
No.
In the comics.
No, she didn't.
There was never, once that relationship was broke, it was broke. She didn't want to have anything to do with Dwight. But in the television series, we have quite the opposite.
Oh, big time. And in the comics, Sherry does end up dying in a very key issue, 167. She and a lot of other saviors...
Was that 167?
Yeah.
Man, a lot happens in 167. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so Sherry was in the outskirts waiting for Alexandria while Alexandria was being overrun. And they break in. She holds Dwight and Heath and Laura captive, and she orders Rick and demands him to leave Alexandria for the Saviors. Now, Rick, being as Rick is, he's like, let's talk this out. Him and Sherry go talk, and as Sherry understands that Rick isn't going to give in to her demands, she tries to kill him. Rick was actually getting his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Sherry was...
I remember that.
We think of Rick being this badass dude, but this dude has gotten beat up so many times.
We did a review on that comic.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we still have that loaded in our videos.
It's up there, yeah.
Yeah, but
that was our first Walking Dead issue that we did on the channel.
Was it the first one?
Yeah.
I remember you and I talking how is Rick going to get his ass beat?
Yeah, she almost chokes him to death. She kicks her off, and she accidentally hits her head and breaks her neck.
Yeah.
And Dwight hears about. He runs in. He's really pissed, but it was a great issue. It was also the death of Andrea as well. But yeah, I mean, to see them take Sherry in a different way in the show, it could work because what is her primary goal? We know that Dwight is looking for her. We don't know how much time has passed, so they could already be together, and we could see a flashback of how maybe he found her. which is fine, whatever. Don't want to get too many flashbacks. But what is Sherry's doing? Like, why is she in that area? Is she working with Ginny? Because Ginny knew... She didn't say her name.
Didn't she, though?
She did at the end.
She did at the end.
And we were wondering, like, how did Ginny... We're like,
Yeah.
well, maybe they watched the tapes.
Or
And,
maybe they
you know,
found the letters.
Maybe
or
they found letters,
clues or whatever.
Because we don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I'd hate to see her become the antagonist just because of what they've done with her on the show to this point. Like, they've made it a love story, right?
Yeah.
And not that I'm a softie, but, like, I want... And they are going to find each other. I want Sherry and Dwight to find each other. Obviously, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But, like, I just think that they should find something else for her to do. And not make her the villain like the comic book. I mean, she wasn't really a villain, but she just wasn't a very good person in the comic book.
Yeah, she wasn't a full-on villain. She was just an antagonist, you know, going along with Negan. In the show, yeah, I do like the love story aspect. He is, you know, he took a year for him to get down to Texas. He's searching for her. Dwight almost ends his life because he doesn't, you know, he knows that she doesn't want him looking for her anymore. John brings him back from the brink. Dwight sees how John and June are together, and he kind of sees that still within Sherry. He's like, look, I want that again. And
I want to see that scene of them finding each other again.
I do, yeah.
I hope we don't get a flashback. I hope we get the actual scene of them finding each other. And then from there, you're right. I don't know what they're going to do with her.
Yeah, her comic book storyline is pretty much done, finito, which is fine. They've, you know, Dwight's is done pretty much as well, Morgan's, whatever. But yeah, I kind of don't want to see her being as an antagonist. I think it could kind of work, but it would be heartbreaking if she's all lovey-dovey with Dwight and then all of a sudden she turns. It would break Dwight's heart, and we don't know where that would make Dwight go, like how the writers would, you know, take his character.
I mean...
He could go full-on clear like Morgan, we don't know.
He could...
Or kill himself.
He could go to his comic book counterpart, and that is he wants nothing to do with Sherry.
Yeah,
and maybe they do follow that part, but I don't see it after you've established the fact that these two want to be together and they long for each other, right?
Yeah.
Like they've been trying to get to one another and get back some semblance of what they had before Negan, and I just I don't. I'd hate for that to be destroyed when she goes bad, right?
Yeah, because I think that even though Sherry left him that last note that says, don't look for me anymore, move on with your life, and that broke Dwight, knowing that if that was her on the radio and she heard Dwight's voice, she's like, oh my God, he said, I'm not going to stop looking for you. I'm going to keep coming. That is really going to show Sherry that this dude loves you. He has crossed half the country looking for you, even though he found, you know, to her, he may or may not have found that letter. But to her, she thought, he's going to find the letter, he's not going to look for me anymore, but now he continues on. That's amazing.
I could definitely see the other part of that where she's writing him, don't look for me anymore, because she's maybe... you know, not wanting to reveal what she's become. And she doesn't want him to see that. Maybe she is with Ginny. Maybe she's running one of the settlements and she doesn't want Dwight to know the person she's become.
Yeah, maybe he can help turn her back. Maybe it could be a redemption.
Definitely see that as a story. That would be great. But we all know...
They have to build that, though.
They do.
To build a redemption, they have to build her story.
And I don't see it happening this season.
I don't know.
I think there's a lot more going on this season that
they're going to be jumping around a lot in the first half.
We all know that he's... Look, there's been rumors that Fear is going to cross over back to The Walking Dead.
Rumors, speculation.
I think you would agree with me that we're definitely not... If that happens, not saying that it is, we're not going to get the scene of Dwight and Sherry walking up to Daryl and saying, I found her, right?
I hope
like,
we do.
I did what you told me to do, and I'd love for that to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know
if they would. Unless it shows up in Daryl's spinoff if they do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm hoping that maybe, you know, it would be kind of cool to see Sherry be on the evil side and maybe come back, but they'd have to build the story around that.
Yeah.
So her being an antagonist, I think I'd prefer it to where she's with Dwight, she's with our group, and they kind of build their story together. and expand on it from what it wasn't in the comics and what they were trying to do in the show before everything went down.
I'd almost prefer he finds Sherry, and now obviously he's out from underneath Ginny's grasp, right? Because there is a scene almost where Sherry and Dwight are on their own. That's what it feels like.
What it looked like, yeah.
Now have Sherry and Dwight save every single one of the group.
Oh yeah,
that would be awesome.
That could work. Yeah. So let us know what you think, guys. Should Sherry still follow? Should Dwight and Sherry have kind of a connection story, love connection story like John and June? Should Sherry maybe be an antagonist for a little bit and then turn back to good? We have no idea what their plans are for Sherry. We hope it's good and not just a secondary background character for Dwight. Let us know what you think in the comments, guys. So,
yeah, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit that bell notification so you're always notified when we upload new content. Follow us at NocBro Nation on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Josh.
I'm Jarrell.
We're NocBro Nation. We're out.